same night, I went from 6,000 followers to 25,000 followers. A week later, I had 100,000 followers. Only a calendar year went by, and I grew 5 million Instagram followers.
Flex Lewis, you're Straight Outta The Lair. Today's guest has made a name for himself by sharing his passion for wildlife, conservation, and the adventures with the world. From his incredible travels to the jungles of Africa, South America, and Australia and beyond, to his heartwarming interactions with some of the most magnificent creatures on the planet, his social media presence has captivated over 6.7 million followers. He is also a person of deep faith, resilience, and a lifelong learner. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this conversation with social media superstar, the man they call the Real Tarzan. First of all, welcome to Straight Outta The Lair.
Thank you.
We've had 2 training sessions in the last 2 days. Very impressive.
Much needed.
And we'll get into your escapades prior to getting here at the gym.
Yeah.
But let's take it back to when you and I were first speaking, my gosh,
2017, 2018.
And it's a funny story. I had a iguana epidemic going on in my house. It was like fucking Fraggle Rock for iguanas. We had, myself and my wife, started off with 2 iguanas when we moved into this house. I'm giving context to the viewers. Obviously, I know you know, Mike, but we went into this house with this incredible backyard, which was like an acre and a half. And we had, I think it was like a red iguana, and we had a green iguana. And next thing, 3-4 years later, we had multiple iguanas. We had males that were beefing up to one another daily. It was like a territory thing. It was like fucking it was like it was on the yard, like a prison yard. There was fights breaking out from all different
That's
sides.
exactly how it is.
Unbelievable. And what I done for the viewers watching this, I went on, I was following the Real Tarzan on Instagram. I was like, this guy's from Miami. Let me reach out to him and see what I can do. So I reached out to yourself, and I seen that you were helping people capture, these massive iguanas in all parts of South Florida and plus more.
Yep. And
not killing them, rehoming them, or doing your best to relocate them to a different place. So I reached out to yourself. And in that meantime, because of your travels and my travels, I ended up moving. So we never ended up connecting.
I know, man.
And here we are 5 years later in the Dragon's Lair, training together. And we have a lot of mutual friends. We have great mutual friends.
Yeah, man.
We done a podcast, your podcast yesterday, out the back of my gym,
Yep.
in the RV.
In the RV.
Yeah, in the RV. Money Mondays, right?
Yep.
Money Mondays live with my very good friend and your great friend, Dan Fleyshman.
Yep.
And firstly, thank you for that invite. But
thank you for having me here,
yeah,
man. It's an honor.
Full circle, mate. Great to have you here.
One hand wash the other, Iron
wild.
sharpens iron.
It does, it does. How did you and Dan connect? It's a very interesting connection.
Crazy,
right there, right?
Yeah, I connected with Dan and Blitz
Oh,
same time.
Dan Blizerian, we're
Yeah.
talking about, yeah.
So they have a mutual camera guy,
Okay.
Jay, Live Media. Shout out to my boy Jay.
Shout out to Jay.
I first came to California for the first time ever, and he had sent me a DM. He was like, "Yo, man, he only shoots girls, models and shit like that." And he's like, "Yo, man, I don't shoot any guys, but you come to LA, hit me up, man. We got to hang out." So I was posting on my story. I was at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, and I got to get my chicken and waffles, man. First time in LA, I gotta indulge, man. So he's like, "Yo, my spot's literally less than a mile away. Come over." So I go to his studio, and Dan Fleyshman's there, and Jay Live Media. He's like, "Yo, one of my buddies is, he needs some tortoises. He wants some tortoises in his yard." I'm like, "Well, I'm a tortoise guy. I could do some turtles, wherever you need. Turtles, tortoises, I got you." So he FaceTimes, Blizerian.
Yeah.
Blizerian's like, "Yo, go to my house in Vegas and, see what we can do with this side of my yard. I like tortoises." He had just got his Vegas house. Going back 6 years now, 5 years. So, yeah, man, it all came full circle, And then we're, interviewing, and then time flies. You know, we do the tortoise project, and Dan has tortoises now. Me and Dan have a whole freaking 30-acre property in California. I'm a full-time California resident now, so I done moved from Miami as well too. So I don't even live there anymore. You moved to Vegas.
Both on the West Coast now,
West
bro.
Coast now, man. We're
We
4
gotta
hours
link
away.
Yeah. You've mentioned a few different things there, which you and I, again, we can take so many different conversations.
Yeah.
And even just in that sentence, I can pick about 3 different things. But before we get right back to where, you know, the Real Tarzan began, you mentioned about the tortoises. I have a great way of saying tortoises.
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 That's how they say it in Wales, huh?
Yeah, tortoises. I went to Dan's house, Dan Blizerian's house, and I seen these unbelievable, incredible tortoises.
Big, huh?
Huge, like what would it be? Jurassic size tortoises. I don't know where you guys got these from.
We
but
handpicked them from Arizona.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big, huge, it's a tortoise compound. It's an old breeder. He still breeds today, but I went over there and I was like, man, I have a really good friend. He wants some showpiece tortoises. We're not going to breed them. We're not going to overpopulate the market. We're not trying to get in your business, you know, and sell tortoises under your, you know, on the West Coast. It's like, bro, they're going to be pets taken care of in a nice,
they're taken care
beautiful,
of.
bro. They live a life.
Dan's got him. I know what you're like with your animals,
Bro,
but Dan's
he's
got
got personal chefs for him.
I know. I'm not even kidding you. He does have a personal chef that fucking cooks these tortoises
Every day.
If I was vegan, I'd fucking hide myself in that shed.
Yeah.
I'd fucking put my little tray out.
For sure, man.
It's incredible. But
yeah, going back to yesterday was the first time I went back since we first did the project, and they tripled the size of it. They built another habitat for him on the other side of the property where they connected it. They got a little pool for him. They built a house that stays 85 degrees year round. The tortoises even got bigger since I saw them. It's great. It's great. I love seeing stories like that, man.
Yeah, I'm sure, because obviously, you know, we know Dan outside of the social media.
Yeah.
Dan, I'm getting to know him more. I know, and I think he's a incredible guy. Obviously, he's got his social media brand and stuff that he's got going on. That's him. But then there's this other side that obviously I'm sure is guarded, right? But I've been privy to. You've been privy to. He's a incredibly.
He's a homie, man.
He's a good dude. Very knowledgeable about my world.
Yep.
He's a student of the game. He asks questions genuinely and attentively listens to the answers. We've trained numerous times. We've had some very in-depth conversations about nutrition and stuff. And then when I was, for the first time, going to the house, I got shown around the property. And the person who was showing me around the property was, I think his assistant at the time.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, these are the tortoises. I said, stop. This is my world right now. I was like, that was the last thing I expected at Dan's house. I thought he would have something extreme, like a freaking lion or a monkey or something. He's got something that doesn't even fit his personality. It's like the yin to the yang, but he loves them.
Bro,
he's imported soil into the place. I mean, I know. Tell the fans what Dan's done for these.
So the cool thing, because I didn't, when, going back 6 years ago, it was just a consult. He was like, yo, can you go check it out and see if it's doable? Is it possible? So I went there, and I never met Dan personally yet. I just saw him on FaceTime from our little quick conversation. Yeah. So I got to his house, and the guy had tortoise shrines and statues and photos and sculptures, and it was just so cool to see, again, someone that has such a different, marketing strategy on social media, and then you go to his house, his personal house where nobody has been at the time, and you see all these beautiful tortoise structures. I'm like, yo, this guy, maybe he loves tortoises, because obviously they're all over the place, so I'm like, all right, we can do something, And then when he first got off the plane and he came to the house like 2 days later after we finished building and transporting him and stuff, the guy had tortoise shorts on. I was like, yo, this guy actually loves tortoises. So it was cool, man. Like I said, he's imported soil for him. He's built a huge structure. He's dedicated a big portion of his yard for these tortoises to roam around and be tortoises, So it's cool, man. Since I've been there, he's planted trees in there, cactus. They got a personal chef.
Personal chef.
That's a mic drop right there.
That is.
You know, so.
That just goes to show how much love he has for his animals. It's not just for show too, because not many people know about it.
Yeah.
You know, we're kind of probably talking about it, possibly. I guess that nobody has even heard that Dan's had these, because I've seen his social media. He hasn't really lent into that. I think that's something that, again, is probably personal to him, and again, something that gives him his yin to his yang. But that all aside, you mentioned about Dan Fleyshman and you and him connecting.
Another great soul, man.
Like, he is a unicorn, right?
Yeah, man. You don't find, like you said, we got that feeling like you get a bad feeling, you go to a club and people are starting to fight. You're like, it's going to be bad tonight. First met this guy, I was like, yo, this guy's a special soul, you know, and then hanging out with him over the years and seeing the charitable work he does. And another thing, too, it's like, you know, we have all these animals now.
That's right.
And I've been working with animals my whole existence as a human. And then seeing Dan, you know, I mean, my guy's up early in the morning, late at night, chopping fruit for these animals. And, like, he's out there hand feeding zebras and going in with the camels. And, you know, he's been on Craigslist all night sending me these links to animals that need to be rescued, you know. And we're like, you know, he's like, hey, you know, what are you doing? I'm like, yo, I'm in the house cleaning up. He's like, yo, we're going to go, you know, drive an hour. And this guy just passed away. And his son's posting all his animals on Craigslist. Let's go rescue him, you know. So we go to this place, and it's like, it's terrible. You know, there's shit high as, you know, it's ankle deep shit. There's no food. There's no water nowhere, you know. And Dan's just like, yo, give me that pig. Give me that horse over there. Give me all those sheep, you know. And he's like, yo, call the vet. Tell him to come over the next day. Medicate these guys. Vaccinate them. Let's give these guys a better home, you know.
Incredible. He's
like, go to the store. Go get them food. Go get them, you know, fresh water bowls. You know, he's done a great deed for these animals, man. And these are animals that people like neglected, you know. Not, you know, the guy passed away, not saying they didn't live a good life before, but it's cool, man, to see someone so passionate about something that I'm passionate about too, you know, and really give it the effort. You know, some people are like, oh, I want animals just to have that ego. You know, he don't give a shit, you know.
Well, that's what's really taking you from Miami, right?
Yeah.
To where you are in California right now.
Very hard to get me to leave Florida.
Yeah. You had your full setup there.
Full setup, you know, and we have a lot of mutual friends, really close mutual friends with Dan, you know, and a lot of people have asked me to up and leave and go to even different countries and do a zoo or a project, and I'm like, bro, I'm good. No, thank you, you know, and just, you know, Dan, we've spoken over the years, and a couple of our other mutual friends spoken like, yo, you guys definitely should do something together. And I'm like, we find the right spot, wherever you go, I'm down, you know. So he's like, yo, I found it. We was gonna do one in Miami actually.
In Miami
this year, we were gonna do it in Miami last year, and then the laws changed a little bit over there, and I was like, man, I don't want to bring my good friends into something. We're gonna spend a lot of money, and then all of a sudden can't fulfill our dream, you know. So he sends me a text, and he's like, yo, look at this property. I'm like, it's dope. He goes, I'm gonna get the keys to it.
Just like that.
Yeah, and then like I'm traveling, and then halfway through my travels, sends me a text like, got the keys. Wow. Bought the whole property, 30 acres. He's like, when you land from, you know, Indonesia, fly straight over. I want to show you something special. I think it's a property. He's like, yo, that's your house. You know, bought the property. There's 2 houses on there. He's like, that's my house. That's your house.
Come on.
You know, we got 30 acres. He's like, yo, all 9 of these acres, 10 acres, all animals, all yours. Let's do it.
And you didn't know nothing about this?
Nope. Yeah, bro. It was just like amazing.
What a blessing.
Yeah, bro. What a blessing.
This is your world, though. I don't also, obviously, Dan is an incredible soul, but so are you. You know, there's 2 great minds that have linked. Dan's seen something in you, which obviously I see in you too, and that's that passion for animal conservation. That's for the education for these animals. And you guys have taken a concept, and through Dan's resources, your resources, 2 powerful people, you know, you couldn't do what Dan does, and Dan couldn't do what you do, have combined together, and you've created this nature reserve stroke zoo in, well, just outside San Diego, 30 acres, and it has camels, llamas, goats, sheep.
Yeah, everything.
Everything. Tell us about this.
Yeah, man, and it's more so we're focusing on our what we can rescue first.
Yeah.
You know, of course, I'm bringing some of my animals over that I can, my lizards, my snakes, and stuff like that from Florida. But, we're just trying to focus on real rescue, real space for animals, And I always had a dream to have a big facility that would be open to the public or private, whatever you want to call it, like private tours and stuff like that, and be able to give everybody a full-on explanation of every single animal, where they came from.
Incredible.
Hey, this guy was rescued. He had this and that wrong with him. Now he's getting better. This one's shy. This one actually we overpaid for it because it was so nice because we wanted it, and it's polar opposite than that animal, and then going down the line, so I have snakes I've had for 12 years, I had since a baby that I have that are full-grown adults, so
That's
I get to, it's cool, man. It's fun. It's, and like you said, there's stuff that, not saying that we can and can't do anything, but Dan's teaching me his world, finances and being disciplined and, having all, everything organized and in order. And that's the piece of things that I'm missing, that I've neglected because I've been so focused on animals. And Dan's been in the technical business for so long, and he's been craving a farm life and hanging out with animals, and that's been one of his dreams and passions. So, we're finally getting together, and I'm teaching him animals, and he's teaching me his world, and it's just so cool that we get to. It's like the connection, man.
Two worlds.
It's one thing being friends and seeing each other every now and then, partying here and there. Yeah. But, you live on the same property, you're hanging out every day, all day, and you see each other's schedules and work ethics. I mean, this guy doesn't stop moving, bro.
Doesn't.
He just flies and goes and speaking engagements and this and helping that and doing that and charity this and breaking this world record of that. And it's so dope, bro. Yeah. It's dope.
Well, I will be coming to see you next week, which I'm very excited about. I will be visiting the what is the name of the?
Oh, the Wild Juggle.
The Wild Juggle.
But it's called Black Site Ranch.
Okay.
So yeah, we have a military side as well too.
Okay.
We have a full-on Olympic equestrian horse center as well too. So that's a big part of our property as well that people don't know about. It's not public, but it's a private thing where this company was already there beforehand, and they're like Olympic gold medalists with jumping these horses. Wow. And they're from Ireland, and they stay there like 5 months out of the year. Other other rest of the months, they're traveling around California, around the United States, doing these, these expeditions, and they're winning these trophies and selling their horses and buying new ones and training them. And this is all the new things I'm learning about, the equestrian side, which is dope because I just love the Ecos family, which is like zebras and horses and mules and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's dope to just, fully engulf myself in
just continue learning.
Yeah, bro, it's nonstop.
It is.
It's nonstop.
And that's what you and I have been speaking in the last 2 days. Again, you've gathered and you've learned a lot more about my upbringing and my connection with nature and my connection with animals and stuff. But talking of upbringing, I want to go right back.
Let's go.
To where this passion for animals begin, and really, where did the Real Tarzan get his first name?
Yeah.
The Real Tarzan.
Well, technically, when I was little, they called me Mowgli Mike.
Really?
When I was little, yeah.
Mowgli Mike.
Mowgli Mike. And then, I was a kid. I had to be about, as far as back as I can remember.
Yes.
I was about, 3-4 years old. I have a memory like an elephant. That's what my mom and my brothers and everybody tells me. But I remember everything. I'll be talking to my mom one day, and I'm like, "Yo, remember this day and this happened?" She's like, "Bro, how do you remember that?"
Yeah.
And it's like,
that's a blessing. Bro.
Yeah, just like faces. I don't forget faces. I seen that guy's face. I seen him. Maybe I saw his family member or something. But it's like, "Yo, where's that guy from?" He's like, "Connecticut." I'm like, "Bro."
We're talking about my front desk guy, Ray. Which everybody who's been to the gym, or Ray is one of the greats. Everybody loves to connect with Ray. And the Real Tarzan was literally 5 minutes. He's like, "I know that guy from somewhere." And literally, I said, "From Connecticut." He was like, "Bro, I've probably been arrested by that guy."
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry, not to segue for your story, but yeah. Ray was a cop for 20-something years.
Yeah, in Connecticut. Yeah. 30 minutes from my hometown. So,
crazy, bro. That's
crazy.
Unbelievable, just because it goes back to your story. Right?
Yeah. So it's going back to Connecticut. I'm a kid, going to Connecticut, catching salamanders on these rock walls in Connecticut. A couple of my family members on my mom's side and my dad's side are Pequot Indians from Connecticut. So they own like Foxwoods, and they have like these nature reserves over there and stuff like that. So 2 of my aunts One had a bunch of just, dogs and stuff in a reserve. My other aunt had a wolf.
A wolf?
Yeah, a wolf. Like my grandmother's sister had a wolf, my Aunt Mary.
How does one get a wolf?
She's Indian, so Indians can do what the fuck they want.
I can say I'm Welsh. Does that help me get a wolf?
Yeah, right.
I don't know. Sorry, bro.
Oh,
shit.
So yeah, she had a wolf and a Rottweiler, and they grew up with animals. My whole family, my mom and dad's side, my grandma had dogs, wolves. My dad had chameleons growing up, So one of my grandmother's brothers used to breed rats for the pet stores, and crickets, and he had, birds and parrots and conures and cockatoos and shit like that. My mom's mom had a sulfur-crested cockatoo.
Beautiful.
So out the womb, I already came home with dogs and birds and rats and stuff like that. And to me, I thought it was normal, And my grandma was real Afrocentric, so she has like fake cheetah print covers on the walls and like African mask and like bamboo and like Sacagawea photos and of Indians and it's just beautiful. Feathers everywhere. That's why I have my little feathers and stuff. It's just a part of who I am. That's all I know. And I'm going outside from seeing the stuff on the walls and seeing my family with the animals. I just thought it was the everyday normal thing. It was just like, people and animals are two of the same. One of my uncles, he'd come in the house with like a fox hat with a fox tail, and he had like a necklace with like a little teeth on it from like coyotes. And I remember when I went to a funeral as a kid, and I didn't know about funerals. I was a little boy. Yeah. But a couple of my Indian family members, they dress up like, fucking turtle shells, on their arms, just like spiritual stuff to send our deceased relatives off into another, resting area. And it was cool to see so much different, like a melting pot, because on my dad's side, my grandmother's a kid of 12. So out of all her brothers and sisters, 10 of them are just white. My great grandmother's blonde hair, blue eyes. And,
grandmother?
Yeah, my great grandmother.
Great grandmother.
Yeah. So blonde hair, blue eyes. We all grew up in the same house. So on my dad's side, all of my uncles and aunts fucking look like you. They're white. I have a ginger aunt.
No way.
Yeah, for sure. All my first cousins on that side are white, and then only my grandmother and her sister, black and Cape Verdean black, and half Indian. So that's where that came into play, And then on my mom's side, we're all just straight black on black as they come. Love it, So I got the best of really mixing in.
You got bloodlines running through your veins.
Yeah, man, and a lot of people, my whole family is really tight, close together. They know the heritage and the history, and the same thing too on my mom's side. My great grandmother also had 11 kids. Wow. So all my aunts and uncles are black as they come. All my cousins are black, so I just I'm going over here with my cousin James, and we're catching snakes and shit, and then I'm going over here with my aunt and Uncle Lad, and they're showing me our fucking pit bulls. Wow. It's dope.
But animals,
and fast forward, that's the childhood Mike. 4 years old. I'm like, yo, can I? Your phone fell down there.
Was my phone?
Yeah, it's down there. Down the road, I'm passing by the zoo. Can we go to the zoo? Like, bro, you went to the zoo this weekend. You want to go again on Monday? You went on Saturday. Oh, can I go to the pet store?
This is so relatable.
Go to the pet store. There's a point in time where I let my grandmother's bird go. I told you the story yesterday.
Tell the viewers.
My grandmother had this sulfur-crested cockatoo.
Very expensive.
Very expensive back in the day.
Still is to this day, but more so back then, I'm sure.
And she overpaid for it because it was so nice. Yeah. And she had it for like 3 or 4 years. And I'd play with the bird, hang out with it, and then one day I let the bird go. I took him outside, because I saw pigeons and seagulls flying around. I was like, man, I want this thing to fly. So I took him outside, and I thought he would come back. Like, yo, show me how to fly. Yeah. He left. So my grandma's like, yo, where's the bird at? I'm like, I let him fly. She goes, what do you mean let him fly? You took him outside? I'm like, yeah. She freaked out. She put the cage outside and was like, rattling the cage, hoping he'd come back. That cage sat out there for months. It rusted out and everything. She was heartbroken, But yeah, after that, I was kind of banned from going to family members' houses with animals because I'd let their dogs out, their cats out. I tried to hold their fishes. I was like, I had to be watched. So, and I kept begging my mom and dad for my own. I wanted a snake.
Okay.
I was like, can I have a snake? Went to the pet store. The guy let me hold a little ball python. I'm like, bro, I need a snake. Can I have a snake? Can I have a snake? No.
How old are you?
3 turning 4.
Oh, wow.
Nonstop.
3?
Yeah.
Give me a snake.
Give me a snake. Because I had caught some outside with my cousin, and I couldn't keep them.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go to Connecticut, catch salamanders, put it in my pocket, go back to Rhode Island, and I'm getting, my mom's like, take your clothes off, get in the shower, you got to go to bed. And I'm like, I was to take my pants off. I got fucking salamanders in my pocket, So she's like, washing my clothes and it's dried up. They died,
Of course they did.
Dried up salamanders in my pocket. She's like, what is this? I'm like, fucking lizard died. Oh, fucking sorry.
Shit.
And then I got my snake and it started biting me.
What was it?
Bit me. I got a red-tailed boa constrictor, first snake, 4th birthday. And started biting me. So like the first couple of days, it bit me out, and I was just grabbing the snake. I didn't know how to hold it.
Okay.
So I grabbed him, just grab a snake like that, turn it around, bit me.
Yeah.
Bit me again, started bleeding. I'm like, yo, I don't want the snake no more. Take the snake back. So my dad's like, you wanted the snake, you're keeping the snake. So kept the snake, then I didn't touch him.
No.
So my uncle's coming over to feed feed little mice to him and stuff like that. And then every time I try to go in there, he'd bite me. So I'm like, bro, I quit. I'm not holding the snake no more. My little brother came over, Domingo. He grabs my snake. Snake bites him in the face. He took it like a champ. He was like, whatever. And he had balls. I was like, bro. He kept holding it. I was like, man, fucking snake's bit me 50 times. I'm scared of it. Bites my brother in the face, doesn't even flinch, doesn't care. He's like wiping the blood away. And he's like, yo, this thing is dope. And I'm like, bro, give me my snake back. So he actually showed me how to hold it. And then because his mom had bought him a snake. We had different moms, same dad. And after that, I learned how to hold it. And then the rest is history, man. Fast forward, I'm 4, 5, going on my younger age, high school now. My mom, I got his little cell phone. I'm learning Craigslist, so I'm buying snakes on Craigslist, and I got like a Burmese python. I got a red-tailed boa constrictor, a green anaconda. I got 6 king snakes, 2 tegus, a water monitor, fucking gerbils and rats, and it's all clean. And I have my whole room full of all my shit. I got dumpy tree frogs, and I have everything.
Yeah. And
my mom's like, "Yo, you have a lot of animals in here." And then one day I was texting this guy from Alabama. And he drove over, gave me a big, huge. His name's Frankie Ferguson. I never forget this guy's name.
Frankie Ferguson.
Yeah, he had a 6-foot black-throat monitor, and he wanted all my king snakes. I had like 6 or 7 king snakes. So I traded him all my king snakes plus $400. He gave me $400 and this big old black dragon. This black-throat monitor. My mom was like, fuck are you doing outside with this guy? I came in with this giant lizard. She's like, what the fuck are you gonna fuck with that thing? I was like, I don't know, but I got it.
We'll find out.
And I got $400. She's like, yo, this kid is mad.
Yeah.
And she ended up giving me her master bedroom.
Wait.
My mom moved,
Your mom
moved out of her room, went into my room, which was smaller. She's like, yo, she had a walk-in closet. Yeah. She's like, yo, make this closet your reptile closet, and you got the room.
She's seen the commitment.
She's seen it from day one, But as I got older, I started getting more knowledgeable how to keep stuff, and I was cutting grass to make money so I can feed my snakes. Bro, I was stealing snakes from the pet stores when I was a kid. If I wanted a snake, I'm getting that shit. I got in trouble a couple of times. When my mom fucking coming home, I was like, I got a boa constrictor. Where'd you get that boa constrictor from? I found it outside. She's like, motherfucker, they're from South America. You live in Georgia. What are you doing? So, fast forward now from high school. I graduated, and I played a year of football. And I'm playing football. I'm like, man, I'm praying. I'm like, bro, I don't want to do this shit. I quit. but I don't have that quit in me for to quit in anything, you know. And I'm like, God, give me a sign, you know, give me something, either make me, you know, get some more, you know, playing time. Let me catch some more touchdowns. Let me feel that college energy, you know.
Meant to be,
show
me.
Yeah, show me, you know. So I laid in my bed. It was like one of our off days. And then I started hearing banging on my door in my dorm. And one of the guys like, yo, there's a snake in the parking lot. Because everybody knew I was
the guy.
I was the guy, you know.
You were the guy.
So and this time in college, I have these long dreadlocks. Mm-hmm. So now I went from Mowgli Mike to my nickname is Tarzan. Because I'm the guy with the animals and I have my dreadlocks came down like my fucking nipples, middle of my back.
I'm sure you can find a photo of you with them.
Yeah, we'll pop it up. I'll give you one. And, you know, we go outside and there's this big, like 5-foot black rat snake. And you got all these jacked ass football players, you know,
freaking out
with fucking shovels and rakes and sticks. And they're like, oh my God, it's a rattlesnake. And I walk up and I'm like, bro, it's just, you know, fucking it's a black rat snake. Yo, it's like, this motherfucker's crazy. You know, we let it go. Everybody was chilling. And then that was my sign, though.
That was your sign.
That was my sign.
And so that was just sign.
I was just praying for that, like minutes before it happened.
Wow.
It's like, God, give me a sign. You know, I really appreciate my time in school. You know, my grandma paid for my tuition just for the first semester, and that was up to me to get, you know, everything else going. And you know, I felt really bad for not going back the next semester, but I started working at a pet store. And
same pet store you took the shit from?
Yeah.
Yeah, wait.
Yeah.
That was
seriously
guilt.
though. No. I went back to the same pet store I was fucking stealing from, asked for a job, and I knew the guys there because I would go there for years buying rats. His name was Rich Wilgan. I never forget him. And he's like, man, you know, I fucking love Mike, you know. Yeah. Hire him. And I'm like, bro, we don't have space for nobody else. So I ended up just volunteering there for like weeks. Shit. No pay, no nothing. And I'm there all day. All day. And then it's like, all right, get this guy a part-time job. So then we got paid off commission. You know, you get paid $7.25 plus 3% commission. So after a month of working, I started helping like, I think my first time, I can't remember the number, but it was like I helped like 100 people in a month. And I'm like, yo, everything's in the system. So every month we would have monthly meetings. Mm-hmm. And this guy helped 40 people. This one helped 26. This one helped X amount. And I just blew every time someone came in, it wasn't like I was trying to sell you something. I was like, what do you got at home? You got a dog? What kind of dog? Where's he from? What's his name? What are you feeding him? Like get a picture of him, you know? So just like, it went from me trying to sell products to like building a relationship with the customer, you know? And
genuinely investing yourself into
you know, and at that time too, a lot of people probably will see, if they do see this, I was giving away shit. So I would, you know, people would be like, oh, this product is a good product, but it's expensive. I'm like, yo, just buy something and I'll just fucking throw it in the bag, you know, just let me know if it works. If it works, it doesn't, it doesn't, you know. So they take home like a shampoo bottle, you know, like, oh, my dog's, you know, his hair's back shiny again. He doesn't have these, you know, nicks and welts in his hair. I'm like, yo, it's fucking good shampoo, right? Yeah, I told you it was good. And that was it, you know. And they'd buy something else and ring them up. Long story short, I went from volunteering to part-time to becoming a manager on one side of the store. And I would just help everybody. And then after a while, everybody would come in. They didn't want to work with nobody else. It was like, yo, where's Tarzan? That was my nickname. Yeah. So everybody got their, you know, we got a new management. Actually, the owner of the store's son came in, and his name was Brad Parker. And he like redid the whole store, the whole customer service etiquette. He front faced all the shelves and got new products in. He taught us how to really talk to customers. He got us new uniforms and name tags. He really did everything the right way. And when they started giving out name tags, he was like, you know, here's David, here's Chelsea, here's this one, and it's supposed to be Mike. And it was like, Tarzan. And I was like, then they gave me a real name tag, Michael. And I just kept the Tarzan name tag. And that was it. It was, you know, everybody started calling me Tarzan. And it was cool. It was just a little fun nickname. I didn't really care about it, you know. People call me Mike, and I'm like, that's my name, you know. So only people at the pet store knew me as Tarzan. When I left the pet store, it was like, fucking Mike, you know. But
everybody knows you know is Tarzan.
Yeah.
I didn't know your real name until
a lot of people say that,
yesterday.
Man. It's like, I'm like, I'm Mike, nice to meet you. Like, your name's Mike? I fucking know your name was Mike. I was like, technically, my name's Michael.
They probably go, wait, you're not Tarzan?
Yeah.
If I introduce myself as James, which never happens, but like, people are like, I thought your name was Born Flex. It's like, no, it was. I wish it was. But
fucking gangster name.
Yeah. But with that being said, where did the social media component get involved? Because obviously the passion, the snakes and everything else, you've got, from what I'm gathering, a business that has been developed through not only looking after these animals, but you're breeding certain things. I'm not putting words in your mouth, but I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Because we have similar, stories. I was with the birds. So where
I want to get into that too.
Okay. There's a couple of things you don't know actually too.
Yeah.
There's a component that now has made you globally famous.
Yeah.
And that is Instagram or social media in general.
Mm-hmm.
I came across your stuff because, again, being in, I think it was Florida at the time, maybe before, maybe Tennessee. I can't remember. I'll have to work out the timeline. But regardless, I seen you posting some incredible stuff. Listen, you've got to have some balls to do. For you, maybe because that's the day-to-day, maybe not. But from my standpoint, looking at you just going in and picking up some of these snakes that are venomous with full respect for the creature, the animal, but fearless in the approach, as you've done it thousands of times up until that point. I was like, this guy is mad. I'm going to follow him just to see him getting fucking bit.
Yeah. That's mostly what people want to see. They want to see me get fucked up.
And you did many times.
Many times.
But where did that come? Where did the social media component get attached to what you would do in your day-to-day? And then when did the Real Tarzan kind of globally blow up?
Great question. So with the stuff I'm telling you, you'll see and this is what I've dissected myself, just looking at my, just reflecting, I've always wanted to hit that next level, that next shelf, so since a kid, wanted one snake to having 4 snakes. And then I'm in high school having a room full of snakes, and then going from my bedroom to my mom's room, going from there, going to there. So when I was at the pet store, I got to the pet store and I, went from volunteer to part-time to full-time. And I'm like, what's next? So after becoming a manager, I found somebody on I got the credit card for the store to start buying new reptiles for the reptile department. So the guy they had that was buying stuff, I'm like, I have a new company I want to buy from. I found him on YouTube, and I was like, this company out of Florida, they look dope. Let's get their wholesale list. And I saw this guy's YouTube videos, and I was like, bro, that's dope. Let's buy all our reptiles from this guy. Mm-hmm. So after a while, long story short, I left the job. I lost the job. I got fired for stealing. Oh my God. I had a little side business selling like baby turtles and shit out of my bathtub from my house. Yeah. Because you couldn't sell them under 4 inches, and it's a law. So I was like, I'm just selling babies in my bathtub and doing dumb shit. Selling crocodiles. I was, a 17-year-old kid with a company credit card. I didn't need that shit.
Wait. Yeah. You just slid in selling crocodiles with selling turtle. Don't fucking jump over that part.
Yeah.
You were breeding crocodiles?
No, I was selling crocodiles.
Okay.
I was selling dwarf caimans.
Okay, dwarf caimans. I know what they are.
I was driving from Georgia to South Carolina.
Yeah.
And buying some at a reptile show and bringing them back and then selling them, and then I got in trouble for it, and then
another story.
But
one that's made you, I'm part of it, right?
Yeah.
We've all been.
The thing is, I lost my job. Because of that. I lost my job, and it broke me. Right. I was like, damn, man, like you fucked up again, Mike. Yeah. You left school, you left football, you finally got, you got your stuff together, and then you fucked it up. So what did I do? I moved. I packed my shit, and I drove all the way down to Florida, and the story wrote itself after that. I ended up being homeless for a couple years, and I was still working at my job, behind my job in my car. I was, doing whatever I could do, clean up cricket shit. I'd unpack shipments. I'm always there. I'm always trying to learn and always trying to work. And as soon as I got in there, I got bigger inside the work. I went from, being a small guy to being, yo, Mike, go do this. Mike, go do that. And I felt like, all right, what's next? I was like seeing guys on social media. This one guy, in instance, Jay Alvarez, I was just watching him from a distance, and I didn't know him at all. And I was like, yo, I watched him post on YouTube, and he had like millions of views. And then I see him on a Hyundai commercial, and I see him on a Abercrombie and Fitch poster, and I'm like, bro, this guy's everywhere. This guy's doing social media the right way. And I was like, man, I think I can do my animal stuff. And like, you know, I was like, I have a pretty wild, interesting life working at this just reptile facility. So I started posting on social, and I had a chameleon in my hand, and I put a cricket in my mouth, and the chameleon, you know, reached his tongue out, and it.
Oh, wait. You posted this, right?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, bro. That was
my first ever viral video.
That went viral, yes.
Yep. I posted it, and I didn't know it. I didn't know it was going to go viral. I had no idea. I was just something I did every day at work.
Yeah.
You know, we always get these chameleons, and I'm like, man, I want to see how long their tongue is. You know, I like hold them out.
I want to French kiss this fucking thing.
So one day, you know, we plucked it off my finger, and I was like, bro, this is entertainment. So I'm like, put the cricket in my mouth. Like, oh my God. Comments are like, you putting that dirty, you know, cricket in your mouth? How dare you? And I'm like, the lizard ate it in slow mo, and I just like, you know, turned and laughed at the camera. So I posted it, got 700 views. Someone else reposted it, and it got like 700,000 views in a day. And I'm like, bro, that's it. I got to keep it going. So I just kept, you know, posting and posting and posting. And I wasn't growing much, but I went from being a really good worker at work. I mean, and I'm working this job now 7 years. This is 7 years of me not having a phone, not having no social life. I'm just working with the animals, the venomous snakes, you know, learning how to bottle feed baby monkeys, and going to school with kids and showing them, you know, a bearded dragon and a frog. And I started working in school districts. So I had 7 years of just straight everyday work, just with animals, no outside life. I went 3 years at a time during that time period. Now I'm like 17. So I'm talking from like I'm 17 years old all the way till like 24 years old, probably a little more. But that's when it started. And I went in that time period, I had 3 years of going to church on Sunday, on Wednesday, sometimes Sunday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, going to work on time every day, going to the gym every day. I listened to no music. I listened to motivational, like Eric Thomas. Listen to Eric Thomas every day.
Great.
C.T. Fletcher in the gym. I started making my own protein shakes. I started, you know, cooking my own salmon. I would run a mile and a half to the gym, work out, run a mile and a half back home, eat, go to work, catch iguanas, go to the gym, same thing, over and over and over and over and over every day. Until one day I was like, okay, I've reached my shelf. What's next? That's when I got the social media bug. And then I went from this great employee to being on my phone all day at work. And my boss, I'm really close with my sensei, he's like, yo, what's going on? Something's different about you. What are you doing? Why are you on your phone? And I start showing him like, yo, social media is like popping, you know. And he was doing YouTube as well too. Okay. So I was like, I would think he would understand it. I showed him Jay Alvarez videos. He goes, that guy's fucking rich. You're fucking broke. You got to work your way up to get to that type of level. You're going to either do this or you're going to do that. And I was like, I think I'm just going to do this. I like my work, I like my job. I'm not going to lose my job. I said, okay, good. Go back to work. So a couple weeks went by. I'm still on my phone more because now I'm getting more traction on social.
You still posting?
Still posting. But I went from posting to like emailing different companies like, yo, I'd send them 10 videos. Like, can you guys please repost this? I would just start doing the groundwork. So I would work for him during the day, and then at night, I send emails. I'd come up with different content ideas, figure out, like, write some goals down. I get a new camera, get a GoPro, get a wetsuit, you know, travel to Mexico, or go on a cruise to here and catch this lizard and film it. And once I started checking off those things on my bucket list for the year, for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, after a few more weeks, he's like, yo, you're going to have to choose social media part-time and work here part-time. Or here full-time, social media full-time. I said, I'll do part-time here, part-time work. So he was like, oh, really? Okay. All right, you do part-time. And after like a week, he goes, you know what? You're fired.
Oh.
and I went back to like trauma mode from losing my first job. And I'm like, bro, I cannot do this. I can't lose this job. This is all I have. I went from being homeless to just barely fucking surviving, being afloat. And I prayed again. I was always praying. I prayed. I said, God, if this is my time, this is my sign, give me a sign. The next day, I got a DM from WorldStar. WorldStar was like, yo, can we repost this video? So I sent him like 50 videos. And the guy, I don't know who it was at the time, but he replied back, what the fuck? This is crazy. And then WorldStar they wasn't even posting animal content at the time. And these guys just posting the Real Tarzan tag. And now it's just going everywhere. And then the next day, I went from, I had 6,000 followers. The next, like literally, I lost my job, prayed about it. The next day, I'm texting WorldStar. And then that same night, I went from 6,000 followers to 25,000 followers. And then a week later, I had 100,000 followers. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck is? And I'm getting calls from people, and now people are like, I haven't made any money off any of this stuff. So people are emailing me and DMing me, and they're like, dude, I'll give you, $500 for a story post. I'm like, $500 for a story post, bro. I was just like working fucking 2 weeks for $500. Fuck. So did a story post. Boom, $500. Another person's like, yo, do this, and I'll give you $1,000. And I'm like, this is great. And then I'm like going through my email, and people are like, yo, we'll do this, we'll do that, and everything is just nothing to do with animals. And I'm like, bro, I don't want to fuck up my traction, trying to be all salesy and throw commercial. So one guy's like, yo, put my mixtape in your fucking story. And I'm like, bro, your shit is trash, bro. I'm not fucking putting your mixtape in that shit. So fast forward a year, only a calendar year went by, and I grew 5 million Instagram followers.
6,000 to 5
from
million.
November 2017 to November 2018, 6,000 to 5 million.
So for the viewers that are watching this, there was obviously a mindset shift that happened, and I also don't want to not address this. The homeless aspect of things, that is a massive part of your life.
Yeah, I didn't go into detail about it, but we can.
I do want to touch on that, because I think that is an incredible story from going from that to where you are. But before we go there, you obviously recognized that social media was going to be a big part of your life.
Yep.
So from the 6,000 to the 5 million, what did you do? Because everybody who watches, will be watching this can relate there. Whatever their personal brands, whether it's in the fitness industry or whether they've got whatever inside. What did you do to really, did you lean more into your brand? What did you do to get to that 6 million?
So it was being ahead of the competition. And at the time, there was really no competition. I was competing with myself, So every week I had a goal. Every time I got a post, I had to make sure I was posting the newest content. So when another company would pick it up and it would go viral, I had to make sure I was posting my next viral video. So when everyone's coming to my page, they're seeing the new video. So I had like this little system.
Yeah. Once a day, twice a week? What was it?
3 times a day.
3 times a day.
3 times a day.
That's
I'm
a
posting.
lot of content, bro.
Yeah. And most of the time, there was a point where the videos I was posting, out of the 3, only 1 would hit. So I'd delete the 2, just save them. And I'd wait, and I kind of figured out the system of it. So I went from 3 times a day to like twice a day. 1 early in the morning, 1 at 5 o'clock. I want everybody to see a new post when they wake up, and at 5 o'clock, it's 3 o'clock in California. Everybody's
outside the world,
outside the world, just waking up, or just they're going to bed. Yeah. So I figured out the little algorithm push and cover photos, and now I'm starting to like shorten it up a little bit and just like the wow factor. And then like, okay, after I was doing just a quick, pet stuff, it's like, I got to go travel. So the traveling is key though. I took my first trip to Mexico, and then my real first trip was to Costa Rica and Honduras. I went to Costa Rica and I caught a snake. I didn't know what it was. And
the fuck it was?
Didn't know what the fuck it was. We was on me and my old girlfriend, a long time ago, ex-girlfriend now, were, walking on this bridge with a tour guide, and there's like 6 or 10 people in front of us. This one gay guy was on the bridge. He's like, "Oh my God, it's a snake over there." I'm like, "Bro, shut the fuck up. There's no fucking snake over there." And I look down this bridge in this little small creek. It's a fucking big ass white looking snake on the side of the creek. I'm like, "Oh shit." So I took my backpack off and I'm like I'm jumping over the side of the railing. And I'm like, "Yo, what the fuck you doing?" I'm like, "Bro, I'm gonna go catch this shit." So I jump down. It's like a little, 8-foot drop. Yeah. And I walk over there, grab a stick, pin the head, grab it. I'm like, "Bro, I have no idea what this shit is." So I'm like, yeah, it was a tropical bird-eating snake.
Yeah. Don't they hang from the...
Yeah, they're super arboreal.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's coming down just to get a quick drink. They're never on the ground.
No, they're always up in the tree. They can grab birds mid-flight, right?
Exactly. And they have like this little yellow underbelly, and it's like this grayish, speckled back, and it's like kind of white in the certain sunlight. And I'm like, man, that shit's... After I caught my first real wild snake in another country, it was over.
But they're venomous.
No, they're not venomous.
Okay. This is where my geeking out a little.
Okay, so you're talking about a boaga.
They hang from the trees. A lot of people get hit in the face.
Yeah, they're cat-eye snakes. Yep. They're very mild venom. They're rear-fanged. That's the snake you're talking about. They call them boaga, the scientific name, but they're called cat-eye snakes.
It says mild venom.
Yeah, it's all right. You'll
venom,
be all right.
fucking venom.
You'll be all right. Sweat that shit out.
Sorry, bro.
Yeah, you're good. So, yeah, dog, it was just, after that, it was...
Game over.
Yeah, and people were, like, DMing me and commenting, like, "Yo, you're stupid for not knowing what it is," and this and that. And I'm like, guys, I don't know everything about everything. I'm just now going to a new country, and I'm not going to sit here and fake to you guys and lie to you guys like I know every single species that's crawling around these trees and these rocks. I don't know. I'm going out here to learn. So once I started, like, being really authentic with people, like,
spinning a reel.
I'm not like, even though I'm growing all these followers, I'm not a fucking scientist. I'm not a professional biologist. I'm not a herpetologist. I'm a student, So when I go catch these things, or I'm asking these locals, what's this or what's that, it's because I'm curious. Yeah. And I think that's also too how a lot of followers really can resonate with me, because I'm just kicking it real with them. I'm not coming out here, hold the camera. Let me read up and see what this is first, and then I'm like, okay, roll the camera. This is. I'm like, bro, I have no fucking idea what this is.
There's a lot
but
of people
I caught
like
it.
that.
Yeah,
too many.
Bro,
people.
there's more people than people think.
Yeah,
a lot of shit's fake. And that's where the real aspect of being, the real Tarzan comes into play. It's just like, yo, just be 100% raw, honest, and authentic. And if people like you, they like you. If they don't, you can't fucking make 8 billion people happy, bro. Yeah, you can't.
And that's what how you've taken that 6,000 to, what was it, 5 million, right?
Yep.
At that first year.
Yep.
Because of your, openness, keeping it real, being on camera and saying, listen, guys, I've never seen this before. This is a first for me. This is incredible. Look at the color of this. Just again, seeing it from your own eyes, as if you were a child watching it. First thing you walk to the zoo, right? And I think that's one of the reasons why I gravitated to you as well, long before I personally started, talking to you, was because of that. Also, I like I said earlier too, I gravitated to you is because you just didn't give a fuck about you were fearless for so much stuff. I was like, oh my God. I was a massive fan, R.I.P. of Steve Irwin.
Yes. Same.
And there's never going to be another Steve Irwin, but there's also never going to be another Real Tarzan. You both have cut your own, paths in life. Steve had this incredible aura to him that he brought people in. He was so likable and lovable, and it was heartbreaking when he passed away. And you being in the same space as him, I'm sure a lot of people have said, oh, you're trying to be this, you're trying to be that. I'm sure that was a hard fight for you to be like, I'm being me. You go back to my childhood. This is what I've done all my life. I have not now just jumped into the brand because this is what I feel I can get a lot of traction from, which is what a lot of these people who are coming into this space, the fake people, are doing right now. They don't have zero upbringing like you, that have had vested interest, childhood attraction to XYZ, fill in the gaps. No closet full of, monitors and snakes and stuff.
Yeah.
It's happened later on in life. And now they're like these experts. You have literally come through the ranks.
Yep.
You've done the apprenticeship. And again, as I said, there's not going to be another, Real Tarzan, because you are as authentic as they come on camera and off camera, which is an incredible testament to you. When that camera is on you, I've noticed nothing changes.
Same
You're
shit.
the same person
Yeah.
that is sitting in front of me now as what was when we were in the gym without the camera, when the camera is on. And that is, for people we know,
Yeah.
is very difficult for them to be, authentic all the time. They know what to do when they're on camera. They turn it on, and sometimes they're completely 180 when the camera is off. Very shy and timid. They're great on camera. But I'm going back to what I was saying. Your brand now, mate. Your brand has grown tremendously. You're doing something
I can't believe
incredibly.
it, bro.
Yeah, but it's a testament to who you are and what you're putting into the world of education and knowledge and passion. I think when people just are real and they walk, talk, and act, with again everything that you've done over the last X decades. How old are you now? 30?
29.
29? Not even 30. So you've been doing this now for a decade and a half, right?
Yep.
Two decades and a half.
Yep. 26 years.
Yeah, incredible. So now we're moving on to pastures new. You've just come back from Australia.
Second
the
time.
Whole world, second time. You have about 1,000 things that can fucking kill you, from the tiniest of
Fucking octopus.
spiders to the
everything.
biggest shark in the ocean. Tell me about that and how you've taken your brand from USA and all the animals that you've been able to focus on and learn from, and now have that thirst to put yourself into countries such as Costa Rica, such as Australia. What is the draw for you to do that?
Learning. I'm curious. This last trip to Australia was so special to me. I got to first learn from someone younger than me.
Really?
And you gotta. We talked about destroying our ego. And in this world, in this era, especially in a position that we're both in, fucking Mr. Olympia, top of the fucking cream of the crop, biggest, baddest man on the planet, Tarzan, king of the jungle, 6 million, bro. I'm here to learn, I don't give a fuck if you're younger than me, you're older than me, you got a degree, you don't got a degree. Amen. If you have something to teach me, I am yes, sir, no, ma'am. I don't care what you look like. I don't care where you're from. I don't care if you're poor, you're rich, you're in a fucking tribe, you're a cannibal, you're a billionaire. I'm here to learn. So I've been following this kid on social media named Ricky Mack. And
crazy fucker.
Fucking crazy. I never met this guy in my life.
Yeah.
I saw him on social media 7 years ago. And I'm like, bro, this guy is it. He's got it. There's not a lot of people that got it. He's got it. And there was another guy named Andrew Eukels. He was also another Australian. And I'm addicted to this stuff, man. I search for him. I can see someone make a video like, yo, this guy's bullshitting. He's full of bullshit. I can see some other guys be like, yo, this motherfucker is gangster. We can be best friends any day of the week, any lifetime, you can go back 500 years. Me and you meet, we'll be best friends. We can die and go to heaven. I'm gonna see you in line. Be like, yo, what's up, my boy? You want to go catch some snakes over here? So anyways, I go to Australia, and I've been dying to hang out with this guy. I watch his videos. He runs around Australia barefoot, no shirt. Catching fucking the most venomous snakes on the planet, and he's grabbing them. He's spitting facts, actual facts, and every time he's talking, I'm learning new things. Every time he opens his mouth, and there's things I know, but I'm not going there to get on camera. I brought a camera guy with me. We drove 11 days through the outback, and he caught 30 snakes before I even touched one. Bro, I've been catching snakes for 26 years, Barefoot. These guys out here catching snakes, and I'm watching them hold them, watching them learn, I'm just watching them, and asking him questions. He's teaching me. You know, I get on video, and which we'll post a couple of days. I grab the snake and I'm like talking about it. I said something wrong. He's like, nope, that's not what it is. I'm like, oh, what? School me, you know? And he schools me, and I'm like, So that whole night, he's like, this is, this isn't a black snake family, even though it's called the king brown, which is one of the most venomous snakes on the planet. Yes. So I grabbed him like, this is a brown snake.
You had this in your hand?
Yeah.
You're just saying it like it's fucking some sort of rat snake.
I
had
like,
the king brown in my hand. It's like,
yeah. So I'm like, it's a brown snake. He's like, no, it's technically a black snake. But even though they call him the king brown, it's the largest of the venomous snakes in Australia. That's why they call him the king brown, and he eats other snakes as well too. Yeah. And but it's part of the black snake family. But just those moments right there on camera, people like, oh, cut it, restart. No. You know, and my camera guys, you want me to cut? I'm like, no, fuck that shit, bro. This is why I'm here. Yeah. This is why I want people to see, you know, me going to another territory and closing a book on snakes and opening a new chapter and say, hey, I'm here to fill it up. When I come to work out with Flex, I'm not telling you, oh, I like to do it. Fuck that. Whatever.
You never said once.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
You fix it? Yes, sir. Put your feet this way? Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You know, that's it. You know, and that's just, I love to learn. I love to be a student, you know. And I think that's why when I left school, I told myself, man, whatever I do, I'm going to be teachable, coachable for everybody, anybody, no matter if there's hard criticism, no matter if I don't like what they're saying. Yes, sir. No, ma'am.
It's very humble.
Yeah, I have to be, man, because in this world, you can die quick, especially in my department of life. You can be gone in an instant, you know.
God forbid.
And you know, sometimes people look back at what you do, and if someone can learn from my videos, be coachable, be a student. You don't know shit. And I ask old people to give me advice all the time. I said, the more you know, the more you know you don't know. You know.
Say it again.
The more you know, is you realize you don't know shit.
Yeah.
And it's lovely, man. It's lovely. There's 3,500 plus species of snakes. I have 25% down packed, and I can't wait to get to 26%. I can't wait to get to 50%.
Wow.
You know,
25% of them you have as ownership.
Not own, but I'm saying
You've
like
caught.
I can tell you about them front to back, scientific name, what they eat, their territory. But that's just 25%.
That's crazy.
You know, there's so many snakes out there. There's so many spiders out there I want to learn about. There's so many birds. There's so many different finches. There's so many different sharks. There's 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 pygmy hippos and big hippos. There's, you know, saltwater crocodiles, freshwater crocodiles living in the same salt water, but they're, you know, there's Cuban crocodiles, there's Orinoco crocodiles, there's dwarf crocodiles, it's just so much different things to learn that I just love. I'm just so curious about it.
And that's to your testimony, you know, to your point there too. I've learned a lot when I've been on the road. And I don't know if I mentioned this. Yeah, I actually did on the podcast yesterday with you. I truly feel like I had an apprenticeship in bodybuilding. I got signed young. I traveled the world under Rich Gaspari, Shut Out of Rich and Gaspari Nutrition. And I went here, there, and everywhere. And when I went to these countries, it was the first time ever, I didn't want to stay in the hotel. I was like, get me out. Let me see your culture. Teach me about this. Give me some traditional foods. Let me, even if I don't like it, I'll pretend I will. Just respectfully to know culture and exchange that into, you know, take me out into the outback, right out to the outback. I just watched one of your videos, which for all the viewers who have not yet seen any of the Australian trip that my man Real Tarzan has been documenting. Incredible editing work, by the way. Music carrying it through. You've done a great job on the post-production.
That's all Trevor, my buddy Trevor.
But bro,
he hit it.
It's done very well. And regardless, I see these things. It's the small things that carry myself through these episodes. You put a lot into them, and that's not me saying like, oh, these have been edited the shit out of. Real is real on there.
Yeah.
There's a couple of scenes where you're sitting in this creek with two other guys. You're having a couple of beers there with the boys, and this creek is like, God knows what's in this creek. You're just having a couple of beers.
It's like, whatever.
But you went then out into the night, and you were just catching snakes, and you were catching all kinds of, you know, I don't want to spoil the video, but it was incredible for me to watch this where you're in your element. True fucking fanboy
Yeah.
element, excited. Like I get like that when I'm in, into new things, and you can see that this passion that you've had from a young kid is burning stronger than ever. You get excited when something gets caught, when you see somebody, explaining something, you can see it. And then relatable aspect of things. For me, you and I trained yesterday. I sent you a video last night. I didn't even know this was going on. Do you see that video I sent you?
Yeah.
That to me that fucking hit me hard.
It's locked in.
I was telling you something about before the set that goes in, what mentally you need to be going through. I talk about Pandora's box many times. You unleash it, you unlock it straight away after you had that engagement. That is very hard to have. I have a couple of young guys that have been around me. I've got experienced training partners who have been with me a long time. They still give me that, like you give me right now. That's the attention, wholehearted. You're listening to the knowledge. You're letting it sink in, and then you were like, okay, let's go, boom.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great, mate. I mean, there's a lot of people who have a facade. They're like, oh, I want this. I want to be this. I want to be that. No. As I said, it's greatness. You can put your mind to anything. There's people who have it, and then there's people who want it.
Mm-hmm.
The want it will never be there. They might get to a certain level, but then passion takes you to the next level. You've got that it factor. And it's very cool for me to be around mutual friends of ours that are doing incredible things, and you're doing your own amazing things in your world. And there's so much more to come. What's coming up that you can talk about in your world that you'd love to tell the fans about?
Man, I got a project that brought me to go back to school. I've always wanted, I didn't have an excuse, but my excuse was I don't have any money to go to school. I don't have the time at the time, a decade ago. And now I'm, 29, going to be 30 this year, and I'm like, all right, Mike.
Big 3-0.
Big 3-0, dirty 30. And I'm like, I'm back at that place in my mind, in my soul. I just can't help it. I can't even fight it. I can't even ignore it. Where it's like, all right, Mike, what's next? You got these followers. You done traveled the world. You done made a couple bucks. You're doing your thing. But what's next?
What's next?
And whatever my soul says to me internally, whatever my heart says, whatever my mind says, I have to do it. And school came up, and I was like, yo, what if you was a Dr. Holston down the road 10 years from now? How'd you feel? What if you was an actual, botanist where you can walk around the jungle and revisit a place you went when you were, 24, now when you're 44, and you can name every species of plant that there is and talk about it? Can you be a primatologist, Mike? Are you capable of doing the work of, locking yourself, every portion of a day on your computer or in front of a book, or your homework, or doing some type of field study? Can you really get to that level to become a primatologist? Can you become a herpetologist, Mike? These are things that's happening in my soul that I can't suppress it. So it's like, all right, we got the zoo, coming up, the Wild Juggle in Temecula. I fully moved from Florida. My soul told me to move. My physical didn't want to move. I wanted to stay there where I was comfortable. I got all my friends that I got there. I can drive around that state without GPS. I can, find all the cool animals and hang out and go spots and eat for free and go work out for free and go do jujitsu. But it's like, go to a whole new territory over there where you don't know nobody. Get back in that Pandora's box. Lock yourself in mentally and just hit that next level. So I think I know from 30 on, it's gonna be whatever I'm doing as far as social media and the zoo or travels. It's also I'm adding school onto it, because I don't want anything to be stopping me from learning. And I know, and I got this from going to Indonesia just a couple months ago, like 6 months ago. And I hung out with Dr. Baruch Gallicus. She is the world's leading primatologists and anthropologists and orangutans. So herself, Jane Goodall, and Diane Fossey, all, Diane Fossey did gorillas, rest in peace, Diane, and Jane does chimpanzees, other great ape, and then Dr. Galakis does orangutans in Borneo. So we hung out. I stayed in Indonesia for a month, and she's teaching me so much. And I think she's 70 plus.
Wow, that's
she's been in the field for 52 years.
Crazy.
Bro, what? Yeah. And still I see her, squatting down, taking photos of something, and like stopping the boat, looking at like birds, weavers, birds making the weaver birds, making the nest, and she's like taking photos of them, and she's looking at little bugs and, plucking leeches off the trees. And it's just like, wow, someone that's been doing it for 50 something years, not even including school that she went to get to that point, and still so passionate about it, still, getting into the small details and stuff. I went to a couple of her camps. They have camps you can go visit as like tourists, but then she brought me to camps where there's only she can go, and
conservation stuff.
real deep in the jungle camps. Oh, wow. And man, she's got like high as that your shelf right here. Yeah. She's got stacks of little small notebooks. I mean, hundreds of them on every single ape out there. Daily food. It took a poop on this day. It ate here, ate that type of plant, it ate that, this one. I mean, by name, and it's just wow. Yeah. So, and going back to us talking and hanging out, she's like, yeah, you should go to school. You really have a good.
She said that.
Yeah, and I was thinking that. Yeah. Didn't even talk to her about it, and she's like, yeah, you should go to school. You'd have a good thesis. All you gotta do is, go do the regular work on the computer. But you've been in the field for, just by us talking. And she's like, you've been in the field, you write a good thesis, so you need to go. And then I'm working on it. Hopefully I can even be one of her students. She has a university, I think, out of Canada. Okay. And she says she has a room for another United States student. So
she would make that room for you, bro.
Yeah, she did. She said she would. Yeah. So she put me on a project where one of her crocodiles, she has 3 crocodiles, a false gharial and 2 estuary saltwater crocodiles. We got to be re-released back into the wild. They were too close to a village. The government called one of the top biologists over there, primatologists over there, and she's like, yo, she calls her guys, they go capture this croc. They put it in a facility. She's like, yo, I want to let him go, but I want to do it the right way. You love reptiles, so do it. I'm putting you on a project. So that's one project I haven't talked about, but that's what's coming up. I want to go to school. I got this cool project what released some crocodiles, but I'm doing it the scientific way. I'm learning how to dehabituate a crocodile. I'm learning, they have them in this area, and they're feeding them through PVC pipes. So they're putting fish in these long PVC pipes so it doesn't associate seeing a human with food. So they blocked it off. They took the PVC pipes from 30 feet to like 90 feet. So now instead of just giving them dead fish, they're giving them live fish. So when it goes in there, it's moving around. It's so much.
At least that fish has a hell of a fucking water slide before it dies. 90-foot fucking water slide. Sign me up for that shit, minus the crocs.
Yeah, 90-foot water slide.
Talking of, and thank you very much for telling myself and the viewers about that. That truly means a lot to me on the podcast, is giving us exclusive. Of course, brother. I'm very happy to hear that, man. I think you having that DR next to your name will just, be something that's worked for, earned, not given. And, again, you are then passing on your knowledge to the up-and-coming next version of whoever would be in that shoes, right? But you mentioned a couple of animals that that scared the shit out of me. One animal in particular, the hippo, is probably my most, I would say, I fear that more than anything. Bro, what is that animal to you? What is your version of the hippo that is to me? And what is the most dangerous animal that you've literally handled or held in your life?
Hippo. I haven't handled a hippo, but hippos have a presence. of murder. You know, you get my first time in Africa, we go to this reserve, and there's like a little, you know, small little hill. There's a pond. There's hippos on the other side of the pond, and there's a dead baby hippo, like right at the bank. And I'm like, fuck, I gotta go see this thing. So I'm walking down this little thing, and I'm like looking at the baby hippo. And I'm looking to see other guys over there, and they're looking at me. I'm looking at the pet. I'm like, fuck it, I just want to like see it. Even though it's dead, I want to see it up close, you know? And the guy yells from a distance, get the fuck out of there. So I walk back up the hill, and the guy's like, he pulls up in his golf cart, and he's like, bro, you're going to die. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, bro, you can't go that close to the water. They're fast. They're fast. They're like really fast. So by the time I even got back up the thing, the hippo was already at the edge. So he told me, he goes, man, we just introduced a male to this hippo pond. The female drops a baby 2 days after we introduced the male. We didn't even know she was pregnant. Oh. So the male hippos, they see another. They don't want competition. Mm-hmm. So the male hippo killed the baby, and they tried to get it out, and they couldn't get it out because the hippo kept charging the bank. As soon as he saw the golf cart, the hippo's like, he knows. He's like, you come to this bank, I'm gonna fucking eat you. Yeah. So I was all the way down on the bank, and the guy's like, bro, you're fucking inches away from death. I didn't know it. I was just wanted to see a little fucking dead hippo, you know? And I have this thing of like, I would, you know, go around my neighborhood as a kid and like get roadkill and bury it and make little funerals for shit. It's a fucking weird kid, bro.
I hope you weren't thinking about that with a hippo, bro.
I was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, bro, I want to fucking, you know, dig a hole and bury him, you know? So and that's what I said. I said, can we bury this hippo? And this guy, fucking guy's crazy, bro. And they went back and talked to the group. And I'm like, yeah, that's the guy that we brought here for the animal shit. So fucking this guy wants to go bury a fucking dead hippo, so let him do it. So, you know, the other guy came, and then we went down. They distracted him on the side. I walked back down. We put a rope on the hippo, the dead one. We ran back up because the thing charged us, and we had to wait. And then we put like this long rope on it, and then we drove. Of course, we was far away from it. We drove and drug the hippo out, and then we grabbed it, dug a hole and buried it. Yeah. And, it was... Hippos are the number one killer of man on the planet besides mosquitoes and other humans.
And not even to eat.
They're vegetarians.
Just like mosquitoes, too.
Yeah. Vegetarians.
It's incredible. They've got this fucking anger issue.
Yeah. Their teeth are thick as bananas or plantains. They're pretty long, almost like a foot long. And they're nothing to fuck with. Hippos are one of my favorite animals on the planet. They are fast.
Yeah, in water and out.
Yes, they can run like 30 miles an hour.
That's incredible.
It's like Usain Bolt as a hippo.
Well, I don't think Usain could outrun that hippo when you think about it.
Could it?
Because there's stamina to that 30 miles an hour too.
And they're agile too.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. The most dangerous animal I've come into contact with, I haven't had any luck with hyenas, man. I really love hyenas. Every time I hang out with them, you know, I get I'm not sure if I'm tense because they have different way of interacting with you. You know, they smell you. They're always like giving you like, say this is my leg. You're like smelling it, and they're upside down. I'm like, yo, you gonna fucking bite me? What are you gonna do, man? You know, so I'm like looking at them where I'm supposed to be calm. And the 2 times I've had interactions with them, they didn't go well. Let's just put it that way.
A bit. Yeah.
And it's just it's my fault. I'm not supposed to be in here anyway. The hyena's supposed to be in the wild anyway, you know. So it's not like not the hyena's fault for doing this job, and it's also my fault for being nervous and being, you know, freaked out because I can't understand the mannerisms of a hyena yet. So I just need more work. I need to hang out with actual professional hyena enthusiasts or you know, anybody that's out there in the bush that can understand hyenas. I got a friend in Ethiopia I've been talking to, and they it's just scientifically and historically they've lived with hyenas for forever. So I'm excited to go there one day and learn about hyenas. So that's the most dangerous animal I've been with that I haven't had much success. I mean, I've held, you know, 16-foot king cobras. I've swam with crocodiles face to face in the wild. I've hung out with big cats, jaguars, and I've been bitten by all types of shit. But the animal I'm nervous about the most is the hyena because I want to hang out with them more. They just make me uncomfortable.
Wow.
You know, just being transparent. I can't figure out why they're just so fucking,
Very
you know,
unique. Yeah,
yeah,
their
they're
movement
just,
patterns,
yeah,
their,
so
like you said, the heads. And,
yeah. I'll show you a photo
Yeah,
later,
yeah.
you know, of the interaction I had with it. But it's just, you know, and everything I talk about with animals. There's stuff that happens that I don't have proof of, so I don't really talk about it because the proof's in the pudding, you know. But later on, you know, after I'll show you these, and that same hyena fucked up one of the other guys later on down the road. So the feeling I had, which is a feeling that I understand my feelings a lot. I'm sensitive, so when I have a gut feeling about something, I'm
Instinct.
like, yeah, it's instinctual. And when I go against it, it's me getting bit by a snake or getting smacked by something or nipped. But when you're dealing with certain animals, if you go against the instinct, you're dead. You know, there's no second chance, or you're missing an arm or a foot, you know, or eye or some shit like that.
Well, you've mentioned animals. Where is the most dangerous place or the most dangerous people you've been around in your travels around the world?
America. Fucking Americans, man. Man, bro, I fucking hung out with cannibals. I slept on their floor at their house. I spent days on days on days with different tribes, you know, that I don't know from a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
I felt more safe with them than anything. You come to America, fucking, I don't know, it fucking make me feel uncomfortable, man. You know, there's some people I get along with off the rip. You know, there's some people I meet and I'm just like, fuck.
It's like the hyena feeling, probably,
yeah, they give me
right?
the hyena feeling, you know, and so I can't go against it. I can't suppress it, you know. And in a sense of business, I try to, you know, get my personal feelings out the way, and should have fucking listened to myself in the beginning. So I have never had a bad experience with anybody outside of the country where I felt my life was in danger. There's one time when I was in Africa, and I was with a group. That same hippo story with the same group.
With the cannibals or different?
No. This is different.
So, yeah.
We'll get into the cannibal stuff if you want.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that. Yeah.
But in Africa, there was one time we was just hanging out with this. We was in Limpopo in South Africa. I'll never forget. And I think everybody was like just hanging out. Sun's going down, and everybody were like playing a boombox. We got actually stuck in this reserve. We was a little late, and they locked us in the gate. Of this national park, and across the street from the national park, it's just the slums. As far as I can see, 10 shacks, and you know everybody's outside hanging out, just chilling. So we hopped the gate, waiting for the guy was like, "Yo, we called the fucking national park. Like, yo, everybody's gone, but we'll send somebody back in like the next 2 hours. Open the gate." So we had an armed security guard, armed driver with us. And we go across the street, and like 3 of us are hanging out with like, oh, fuck, let's go hang out with the fucking locals, you know? So we're just hanging out, we're chilling, we're like playing music, and everybody's dancing and shit. It's just a vibe, sunset's beautiful. And I turn around, and this car pulls up, and there's like 2 guys in the front, 4 guys in the back. All their eyes are like yellow and red, and they're just like they're like, we got us one, boys. And they're looking at me and the 2 guys I'm with, they're just having fun. And I'm like, automatically, I got that feeling. I'm like, fuck, it's about to go down. And these guys are looking at me, and they're like, it's just, I don't even hear shit no more. I'm just looking at them, and I'm like, just dead silence. And they look at me, and look at my boys, and they look at each other, and just look at the guys across the street and over the fence. And I swear it had to be 10 minutes, but it was a couple seconds. And looking at us, and they just slowly just drive past and take off. And I look at my buddies, and then the guy across the street was like, yo, let's go. I'm like, fuck. That was it.
Dodged the bullet. Literally?
Literally. I don't even fucking dodge machetes. Fuck. Shoot me with a bullet. I don't. Going out quick. These guys, they'll chop you up, you know.
What do you think that made them drive off? Did they?
I don't know, man. I've gotten lucky a couple times in my life in situations like that. And like, I don't know, the hair in the back of your neck stands up. You get those goosebumps. Yeah. You know, you get that little weird feeling in the back of your throat. You know, it's the same thing when you know you're about to get in a fight. Oh, yeah. In a fist fight. It's like, oh, it's about to go down. It's going. You know, and these guys, they pulled up, and I got that immediate feeling. I'm like, fuck. They just drove off. It was like, I don't know, maybe my guardian angels fucking
You've leaned into that faith
Yeah,
all your
man.
life, man. So
That's one thing I do have that, I really am vocal about is I have a lot of real raw faith. I go in a lot of situations where I have no idea the outcome. Maybe I'm not going to make it out. Maybe, God always pulls up, shows up. He protects me. I pray, and when I pray, I mean it, And I pray for other people, pray for my enemies. I pray for my friends, my family, myself. And I feel that's what gets me, through all these good and bad situations. It's just real hardcore faith. Of actually really believing what you're saying and what you're praying, even though you can't see it, it's there. At least I believe it. And whoever else is out there watching, probably some people out there that are going through something similar, and they're like, fuck, I don't have no other options of what to do. I don't know where else to go. Bro, just pray. And what you're saying, actually mean it. Yeah. The things I prayed for before when I was homeless, when I didn't have nothing, I have them now, times 1,000,000 more than what I prayed for, And it's like nothing I did. It's the stuff I prayed for. God gave me obstacles. It's like, yo, you get this obstacle, I'll give you a taste of what you asked me for, and that taste is more than, it's more than nutritional, to say the least.
You mentioned homelessness. I know we wanted to circle back on this.
Yeah.
When you you kind of lost everything. You were in California or Miami.
Yep.
Take us through them times of obviously having something. You've had your, you kind of had a life prior to homelessness, and then you found yourself in this circumstance. What got you through them times? What were you praying about? And then what was the kind of the first leap of faith that got you into the next realm of setting you into this life that you're in right now?
Yep. This is deep. So
Straight Outta The Lair.
Get your fucking flippers on, boys. Going for a swim. I make it just raw as possible. Bad decisions, My grandmother gave me $5,000. She had like some lawsuit she had going on with like her back surgery or some shit. And she gave me $5,000 when I was 17. She's like, yo, take this. What are you going to do with it? I was like, oh, I'm going to get some reptiles. I'm going to flip them. I'm going to make 5,000, 10,000, and make 20,000 after that, And my dumbass bought a motorcycle.
Oh, you did?
I bought a Kawasaki Ninja. I spent $4,000 on it. Yep, Gixxer ZX6R. Yep. I bought it, and I had $1,000 left. Didn't do what I was supposed to do. Ended up getting fired, so now I got a bike. Sold my bike. I crashed it the first day I got it. So after I crashed it, it was now worth like $2,500. I had to sell it for. And then I moved to Florida. So I drove down to Florida. I had a car with no registration. A 1964 Impala.
Nice car, huh?
I sold all my reptiles and shit. I only had my dog. I had a green anaconda. A U-Haul truck. Filled with all my childhood memories. My mom gave me her couch. She's crying because she knows, like, if I say something, I'm going to do it. I'm one of those, like, I don't say many things, like, that's serious. But when I do say serious shit, it's because I've thought about it enough to finally talk to someone I care about, that I'm close with, and like, yo, this motherfucker's not lying. So I was like, Mom, moving to Florida. She just starts bawling, crying. And I'm like, yeah. She's like, when you leaving? I'm like, probably this Friday. And it was like Tuesday.
No chance to be talked out of it.
Yeah. I was like, it's already done. And I packed up the U-Haul truck. I put my car in the back of it. I drove all the way down to Florida, returned to U-Haul, put my stuff in storage, took a couple things out, like some clothes, some shoes. And whatever money I had left over, I spent it at a hotel. This place is called La Quinta Inn.
I know La Quinta.
Yeah. And La Quinta. It's on Deerfield. It's on Power Line Road.
Oh, that one.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that La Quinta over there next to the highway.
Right, okay.
Next to that Wendy's and shit.
The Wendy's part I don't know about.
Yeah, but yeah, you know what I mean. Sorry. But I had like maybe 3 weeks in that hotel. I paid up for all the money I had left over. And my idea was my mom gave me her Section 8. It was like a public housing thing. Yeah. And she has 3 kids. So in Georgia, the pricing of housing is way different than in Florida. So she has a voucher for, I don't know, $4,000 a month for rent, herself and 3 kids. So when she gave me Section 8 voucher, it was just myself. So I was only qualified for a certain amount of money. And so when I got to Florida, I went to the housing agency, and they were like, "Bro, you're approved for $1,100 a month for rent." And I'm like,
What can you get for that?
and I'm looking at, they give me my options of where I can live, and I'm like, "Bruh, I'm going straight back to the trap."
I know where you were at.
Yeah,
next
Pompano.
to, next to the railway track.
Exactly.
Oh, I know.
You know, and I'm like, "Bro, I'm not going back there."
I used to live there.
Yeah,
that's
you know,
that's what the viewers, for the viewers
like,
that don't know.
I'm like, "Bro, I'm not going. I'm not. You know, I lived that life before in my hometown. I'm like, I'm not going back. I'm not going down that road. Can't do it. I'd rather be homeless.
Oh.
I'd rather be homeless." And it's like, fuck it. Figure it out. I'll sleep on someone else's couch. I'll save my money and, you know, ask someone to rent their property. I'll go on Craigslist and find a little duplex or something. You know, I'll live on someone's couch. Fuck it. And after that, you know, I lived on this lady's couch in Sunrise for like 3 months. She had roaches. It's like, fuck, every night they fucking feel shit on me, and I'm like, bro, this is, fuck it, whatever. It's better than sleeping in my car. And then I started parking my car in certain places because I had no registration, and they would tow my shit. So every time I would get paid, I had to go get my car out.
No way.
Yep. So, and I wasn't making no money. So I'm like, fuck, bro, everything I just made for the week is gone on my car. Get my car at the tow shop. And then I got my car out, and then I drive it for a couple of weeks, make my money back, and a cop pulled me over, and I got suspended license. And he's like, brother, you got no tag. How old are you, man? I'm like, I'm 18. He goes, give me a license. I'm like, here's my license. He goes, your license suspended in Georgia and in Florida. He goes, I'm going to do you a favor. Get the fuck out of here. Wow. Go home now. Go straight home. He goes, actually, where you live? I'm like, bro, I don't have a house. I live out of my car. He goes, you're going to jail.
Get out of here.
He goes, that's going to be your new home. To keep this shit up. Took me in jail. I called my uncle, sent his money to bail me out. I get out. Crashed he sends one of his other friends he has in Florida, and his girlfriend is there, and she's driving my car, and my brakes are a little. I got a 1964 Impala. I'm a man. I know how to drive my fucking car. No offense to the woman, but you can't drive no fucking 6'4". Yeah. You know, so she gets in the car, and her brakes are a little messed up, and she crashes my car. Yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh. Fuck, my life's just spiraling down. Yeah. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm gonna go back to work like nothing ever happened. Yeah. And they parked my crash car in the back of my job, and I slept in my car for like 8 months.
Wow.
And,
8 months.
8 months. Yeah. And that was it. You know, straight my first time really being homeless. I had to give my dog away. Oh. It fucking broke my heart. Yeah. You know, I never had to give a companion like that away before. Yeah. Yep. No. Oh, sorry. You know, I never had to give a companion away like that before. And then I lost my anaconda. They sold it at my job because it was taking up too much space. I had nowhere to go. They're like, bro, you don't have a house. What are you gonna do with this snake? Yeah. They sold it, and that snake I had for 8 years. So I was like, fuck, bro, my life.
Lost everything.
It just broke my heart.
That is your everything, right?
Yep.
Regardless.
So I'm like, all right, well, I got a text like, yo, you can come back and sleep on the couch. You know, but I had no way to get there. The car's fucked up. I don't have a license. I can't go back to jail. So now they're sending me, tickets to go to court. I didn't go to court because I had nowhere to send me a ticket to, So I got arrested again. I was driving someone else's car, got arrested again, and they're like, dog. And the judge is like, we're going to let you out. I bail myself out to have more money. And she's like, you get arrested again, you're going to be classified as a habitual offender, and I'm going to suspend your license for 5 years. So you leave here, don't get in a fucking car again until you get your license fixed in Georgia and in Florida. And I'm like, all right. So I go back.
I know where this is going.
Yep. And then that's how I started catching iguanas. I had no other choice but to make money. And I got so low because I was failing in so many different departments. And then I was like, all right, suck it up. It can be worse. And then it got worse. I went back to my storage unit, and they sold my storage unit.
Oh, because you hadn't paid the... Oh.
All of it's gone. All my childhood memories, my trophies, you know, my dad's clothes that passed away, shit that just it's photos, pictures. I mean, all my clothes, all my shoes,
sentimental stuff.
All sentimental shit. You know, there's material shit that I didn't care about, but there's shit in there that I was like, to this day, like, you know, makes me. It's one of my main driving factors of today, because I lost that stuff that I can't get back. You know, and I mean, I had stuff that I would, you know, hold in like Ziploc bags and like other Ziploc bags that I would open it and smell it and smell like my loved ones that passed away, just so I could smell them again, you know. And it gave me that motivation to keep going. So when I lost that stuff, it brought me so low in my life, and I was like, man, this is it. I'm gonna kill myself.
You were there.
I was there. Wow. So I remember my other buddy, he had a gun, right? And it was just sitting on his little nightstand, and I took it and I went back to my car, and I was like, this is it. This is it. You know, you had a fun run. You came to Florida. And I started thinking about so many different things, you know. And I was like, bro, you're really gonna fucking kill yourself, huh? It's like my you know, my third person talking to me. Mm-hmm. Talks to me every now and then when I'm trying to do stupid shit.
Which is every day.
Yeah. You know, he's like, you know, myself's talking to me like, you're really gonna do it, huh? So I'm like looking at the gun in my lap. I'm like, and there's another side of me that doesn't come out, the Pandora's box. And he's like, well, at least you got to go. You know, my father was killed back in the day, and the other side of it was like, yo, you should go home and, you know, kill one of these people that had something to do with, you know, your father being gone, and then you can kill yourself. Make it worth it, you know. And I'm like, then I come back to my normal self, and I'm like, bro, you sound fucking crazy.
Damn.
What the fuck's wrong with you? You know, like, you need help. You need Jesus in your life. And that's what I told myself. And you know, I went back and gave my buddy his gun back, and he's like, bro, fuck you took my gun for? I thought my bitch took my shit. That's what he said to me. I was like, yeah, bro, no, it was me. He goes, did you rob somebody? No. Did you shoot somebody? I said, no.
Promise?
Yeah, he promised. And I told him, I was like, I was gonna kill myself. He's
wow.
like, fuck, bro.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I haven't seen that. I never saw that guy after that. He texted me some years later. Yeah. It's like, oh, bro, you're doing good. Love to see your brother, you know. Yeah. But after that moment, I moved back to Atlanta, and I slept on my best friend's couch, and all my friends seeing me, and they're like, bro, you look different. It's like, yeah, bro, I fucking lost weight. I've been fucking homeless. I haven't been eating. I haven't been sleeping. You know, life was rough. And then my hair was long. I didn't get my hair done for like, you know, a year and some change. So I had these long dreadlocks, but I had an afro underneath it. Yeah. So I looked like I looked homeless, you know. And then I got to a point where I was like, man, I'm working at this trampoline park, Sky Zone. In Georgia.
On the street
yeah,
too.
Yeah. Funny, I'll tell you, that'll come back full circle. I'm working at this trampoline park, and then I get my life somewhat back together after a couple months. I go to the barbershop and I cut my hair.
The dreads.
Yeah, gone. Whole new person. So now I'm going to the gym a little bit, and I'm looking in the mirror at myself, and I'm like, dog, you're sleeping on your best friend's couch. You cut your hair off. You lost all your shit in Florida. You cut your hair off, but you're still the same piece of shit, non-disciplined, selfish, you know, arrogant, fucking non-disciplined person. So wherever you go, you can leave here and go to Florida. You can go to school. You can go to a job and lose your job. You can do so many different things, and you ain't gonna be shit until you really change yourself. And that's we talked about yesterday. Looking in the mirror, and I looked myself in the mirror, and I was like literally talking to myself, like, bro, when are you gonna get your shit together? And I answered myself back. I was like, today.
Clicked.
Today. It's the last day. I'm gonna bullshit. So I went. I got a protein shake. Did my push-ups. I did all of my push-ups instead of doing. If I said I'm gonna do 100 push-ups, I'd do like fucking 50. I'm like, all right, I'm done. I got a little pump. I'm out. Okay. You're gonna do 100 push-ups, motherfucker.
No compromise.
You're gonna do 100 sit-ups, motherfucker. You're gonna go home. You're not gonna jack your dick off. You're gonna go to sleep, and you're gonna wake up, and you're gonna go to work, and you're gonna actually work. You're not gonna be on your phone. You're not gonna go take an extra 45 minute shit in the bathroom. to kill time. You're going to work. You're going to be a disciplined, actual good human being. You're going to treat people with respect. Because at the time, it's not that I didn't treat people with respect. I just didn't talk to anybody because I didn't want to be social, you know. And long story short, I left Georgia. My best friend was like, "Yo, I'm gonna go to the Army." I'm like, "Well, fuck, I got no more couches to sleep on." My mom moved to New York. I had, I wasn't trying to go backwards, so I prayed and asked God for a sign. And someone said, "Yo, Atlanta Zoo's hiring." I'm like, "Oh shit!" So I put an application in, and then I went to a reptile show the same day, and I met somebody from there. And it's like, "Hey, man, my best friend worked at Atlanta Zoo. I could probably get you into the reptile program over there." And I was like, "Bro, my whole life just lit up."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Bro, yeah, I actually put an application in this morning." He goes, "All right, call this number, and this person will get you right." So I went to Sky Zone that Sunday for work, and I broke my phone. Phone broke, and then I had to wait like 3 or 4 days to get my phone back on because I didn't have any money. And my phone came back on. I checked my email and shit like that, and called the person back like, "Oh, we called you on Monday. You didn't answer for interview, so we gave your spot away." So, and I'm like, and then the phone rings. My old boss from Florida. "Hey, Mikey, I'm just, came across my mind. How you doing, buddy?" I'm like, "Bro, I'm not fucking doing good." And he goes, "Man, how about this? I'll get you a bus ticket. You can come back to Florida. I got somewhere for you to stay. You can sleep on my buddy Drew's couch. He works here. He's Austin's brother, and which is his son-in-law." He goes, "Drew's working here. He comes to work every day. He's disciplined. He lives a real militant lifestyle. I think you guys would be a good fit. He's one of the leading band players in our church. He's a sniper in the Army, and
what a guy.
Motherfucker don't play."
Yeah.
So he goes, "I think you guys would be a good fit," because he goes, "Man, outside of all your bullshit, dumb decisions, you're a good kid, and you really like animals, and I thought about you, and I got you a bus ticket, meet me in Orlando." They had a reptile show. So I met him in Orlando, did a reptile show, and they see me for the first time with my haircut. They're like, "Bro, you look a whole nother different person."
Yeah.
And then I went back, and that's when I had that 3-year period, I got in a car with my buddy Drew, and he goes, "Mike, what do you want to do with your life?" I said, "Bro," I looked at him in his face, and I said, "I need you to be really hard on me. I need you guys to love me, but also fucking be hard on me. Don't take no bullshit and be fucking strict. Like, actually be strict on me every day, all day, and I'm going to take it." And then I talked to my sensei. I told him the same thing. And he goes, puts his hand on my shoulder, and he goes, "You're going to love me?" He goes, "You're going to hate me, but you're going to love me for it down the road." And that's when I had that 3-year period of
grind.
I didn't have sex. I didn't jack off. I didn't fucking eat bullshit. I didn't skip a gym workout. I wasn't late for work. I didn't skip church. I would take myself to the movies. That was it. I didn't go to South Beach. I didn't go party.
Jeez.
None of that shit. 3 years. No girlfriends. I see a fine chick. Just keep walking. Wouldn't look at her ass.
Probably more attracted to the fucking animals than you were.
Yeah.
Not in that sense, but like drawn into you.
Yeah.
Just to clarify that for the viewers.
Yeah. So after like 30 days of in that 3-year period, the first 30 days and 60 days, 90 days, I became a whole new person. I couldn't even recognize myself. I was doing things on autopilot of being so disciplined.
Yeah.
And I would just engulf myself with all the animals at my job. So I'm just learning and learning and learning. And then he's like, "Yo, you need to learn Photoshop. You need to learn how to pack rats. You need to learn how to answer the phone." And he goes, "Mike, you need to be a person that doesn't have a no in its book. It's the only way you're going to get somewhere in this life, especially in this job."
Like a rebirth, you think of who you became, the early stage of who you became.
Exactly.
I know we got to do a part 2, bro.
Yeah,
we have.
I know we're going on for a while.
No, we got a part 2. But because you and I have not even scratched the surface on a lot of things that I want to talk to you about the birds. But one thing that I can say that's now exciting, we're both on the same coast. We are going to make a commitment to doing something. I don't want to pop the lid off of something we spoke about earlier, but you have a dying thirst for knowledge in the fitness industry. you have a commitment to changing your physique. You have some goals and dreams that you want to do as well, which I don't want to, talk about that, your things to do, but I want to circle back and doing a part 2 if you're good with that. Because
absolutely.
There's a couple of projects that I know that I want to home in on and talk about. And for us here at Straight Outta The Lair, we have a dire thirst for people like yourself that come on that are 1 foot in my world and another foot that's not in my world.
Yeah.
So is there anything you want to tell the fans? Anything that you want to promote? Is there anything you want to talk about before we close out? Floor is yours.
Bro, thank you for having me, man. It's an honor.
Honor, bro.
I want to tell the fans it's a real honor to come hang out with Flex Lewis. Like I told you, man, me and my father really love working out and bodybuilding. He loves Surge,
Such a brain. Incredible.
So it was just working out, spending our family for a long time. And to actually train for 2 days with, 7-time Mr. Olympia. It's an honor, man. I want to promote the Dragon's Lair.
You already done it, bro.
That shit's gangster over here.
Appreciate you, man.
Real dragons up in this motherfucker.
You got the Real Dragon's Lair in California.
Fire-breathing dragons. Part 2 soon.
Part 2.
Like I said, we can go.
We can go, and we have done. We've done a training session for your podcast. In the last 3 days, we've done a podcast for you and Dan.
Yep.
We've done a training session for your channel.
Yep.
We've done a training session for my channel, and every one of them things is so much more than we've talked about today too. And we got so much more to talk about.
Exactly.
Got to do a part 2. Again, it's an honor for us to go full circle, have some funny related stories about trying to get together, never did, but everything happens for a reason. You've leaned into your faith, as have I. I truly believe there's a reason for us to meet today and not back then.
100%, man.
And I think that them chapters will be, shown more and more the more we lean into this friendship too.
Bro, we're boys for life now.
Let's go, my man.
Love you, brother.
Love you too, bro.
Thank you.
The Real Tarzan, Straight Outta The Lair, out.